This video is sponsored by Cricut. Welcome to this video, and if you are a Cricut newbie, maybe there was a Cricut machine sitting under your Christmas tree yesterday and you're like, oh, I really don't know what I can make with this. I don't know where to start. Well, I got you, because I have lots of ideas for you. I have easy projects that you can do to get you started with your machine and get you on your crafting journey. So I hope you get lots of inspiration. Let's begin by crafting with some paper. And if you are new to Cricut, you might want to just go straight to the vinyl, because that's what I was doing when I was a beginner. But I highly recommend playing with paper. It's a great way to get a feel for the machine, how it cuts, setting up, playing with designs. And it's cheaper to make mistakes on paper than it is on your good vinyl. Okay, we have our blank canvas, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to play with paper. I'm in Design Space. I'm going to click on images, and I have been searching for bookmark shapes. If you have a Cricut Access subscription like I do, you can select anything you want. You can see I have the subscription, so all the prices are blanked out, but you can also search for free shapes and free images as well. On the left hand side, I have operation type, because I just want to cut, because I have that pretty floral paper that I want to use to make some bookmarks. So the operation type I have is cut only, and also cut and draw, because I do have some pens that I can draw on them as well. So you can have fun scrolling through these, or you can scroll up here and you have bookmarked, uploaded, purchased. So you can sort through if you have maybe uploaded your own designs, if you have purchased anything, and then I'm going to click bookmarked. So these are the designs that I saved. So I love these little corner bookmarks, so I'm going to select this one. I thought this rose one was really pretty. I'm going to select this one as well. Let's do another corner one, and this one here. And I'm going to click add to canvas. You can also resize these. So this one is 15 centimeters in length. This one is 18. This one is 8 by 7. I think I'll leave that as is, because I like those little ones. This one seems quite big, so I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. Now I am going to be cutting on my nice floral paper, but what you can do is, so that it sorts it into different mats, and you can change your paper. You can change the colour as well, so if you're cutting on red vinyl, blue vinyl, or even purple, whatever colour, just makes it easier to see on the canvas. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 different coloured papers, just to vary it up. On the top right hand corner, I'm going to click make. And I'm going to be using a matte, and I'm going to be using the Cricut Joy Extra for this one. So as you can see, it has sorted it into different mattes for me, because I'm going to be using, if you were using all of the same patterned paper, you can make them all the same colour and they would cut all on the one mat. So I'm going to stick my paper onto the mat, and we're going to begin cutting. I mostly use Design Space on my laptop, just because I need a bigger screen, but you can also design on the Cricut app on your phone, and you can use your mobile phone or your tablet as well to create designs and communicate with your machine. The machine I'm using the most at the moment is the Joy Extra. You can also make stickers on this machine. If you do want to make stickers, I have a video that's just about the Cricut Joy Extra, and I did some sticker making, so I'll make sure to link that in the description if you want to check that out. So like I said earlier, when I was a beginner, I was all about the vinyl. Let me stick a label on everything in sight and let me personalize things. But if you're after getting a new machine, maybe you got a machine over Christmas, play with paper. Bookmarks are so simple, great little presents, and there's always a book that needs a bookmark. No more dog ears. But it's a great way to just play around with the machine, create some designs, see how it cuts. I know when I was a beginner, I used to have some slip-ups when I was loading the mat and things like that. So it's a great way to make, I encourage mistakes, whether it's a sewing machine or a Cricut machine. That is how you learn. But it can be frustrating when you make a mistake with your vinyl, whereas paper, I don't mind making mistakes with paper. if you want to play around with paper some more, I have a playlist where I have some other Cricut videos, and I do have experimented with some paper flowers. And if you also want to check out making cards as well, your Cricut machine is amazing if you need to make a last minute card for someone. Let's play with some heat transfer vinyl. So you probably want to personalize things if you have just got on your Cricut, because that was one of the first things I wanted to do. I am going to personalize the Christmas socks that I made in last week's video, but I'm going to show you where to find stuff easily if you want to do some personalization. So I went into images again and I searched for a paw. Then I went to the left hand side. There it is there, editable images. So you can click that. So there is 243 images with a paw that is editable. So as you can see, that blue right in there, you can change the font and the text. So there's no like designing at all. You can just select one of these, add them to the canvas, and then you can customize the size of it. So I'm going to go back to my canvas because I already have these ones on it. I'm just going to select one of the text here. You can change the font on this. So like I said earlier, I have a Cricut Access subscription that I pay monthly. So all of this is included in it, or you can purchase once off, or you can use free ones as well. So I'm going to go ahead and make this. I actually checked the sizing as well. This is 10 centimeters. So just make sure you can resize it to suit what you're doing. So if you're doing t-shirts, etc., you can make it bigger or smaller. So I'm going to click make. So I can cut this without a mat because I actually have some of the iron-on smart vinyl. Now, the one thing we need to do, and it's really important because I do this all the time, when you are doing the iron-on transfer and you're sticking this onto material, we need to hit mirror. Anytime you're doing any iron-on projects, anything that's face down like leather as well, make sure to hit mirror. If you don't, your design will be backwards. And I have done this many times, so don't worry, you're not alone if you do this. So I'm going to hit continue and load up the machine and we'll get going. Once the machine has cut the design, grab your weeding tool and weed off the excess vinyl from the plastic backing. It looks like the weeding is super quick and fast, but that's the magic of editing. Take your time, and also if you're new, try and pick a really simple design. When I was a beginner, and even now still, I have a habit of picking some intricate designs. My best advice is keep it simple, and then you can do those really intricate designs where you have to do loads of weeding. Also, you'll notice that the material is a bit thicker from the Christmas socks. These are actually IKEA rugs, and you can check out how I made them in last week's video. Because this is a bit thicker, you're going to warm up the material first, and then you're going to apply heat for a little bit longer than usual, just because the material is quite thick. You can also use your easy press machine for this. Your easy press machine would be perfect. For anybody who's new, my cat's names are Bon and Bjug. That's how they're pronounced. And Bon means white in Irish and Bjug means small. I have loads more projects where I use iron-on transfer on material, so whether you want to personalize clothes or your runners, you can check out those videos on the playlist. One of my favorite things to do is make adorable signs, so let's make one with some scrap wood. Don't worry if you don't have any scrap wood. Look around for any wooden pallets that you can get your hands on, take it apart and you can use pallet wood for this. Just sand it smooth, give it a clean, and then you can stain it or paint it in a colour of your choice. So let's make a really simple sign. I want to make a sign out of a scrap piece of wood that simply says cut flower garden. I hit the text button here on the left hand side, and then I changed the font. And again, there's lots of different fonts included if you have a Cricut Access subscription, but you can also pay for them individually, and you can also search for free fonts as well. The font that I'm using for this one is called BFC Gold Coast. And I just like how it looks a little bit vintage. My plan is to have this going all the way across, but just to make it easier to cut on the machine on the mat, I am going to just arrange it this way, and I'm going to just simply cut it on some white vinyl. So I'm going to click make, I'm going to select on the mat because I don't have any white smart material for the Joy Extra. I have some Cricut vinyl left over from the maker. I was organised it onto the mat for me so it fits perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and load up my mat and cut this. Once the design is cut, you are going to weed off the excess material just like you did with the iron-on vinyl. But to stick this vinyl onto your surface, you're going to use some transfer tape. You can measure and mark on the wood so that you get it perfectly straight, or you can eyeball it, which is generally what I do sometimes. I kept this design really simple, but you could go all out with this. You could add texture to the wood to do some dry brushing. You could create a stencil instead of vinyl if you wanted to do something a bit more artsy. At the moment, my 2024 cut flower garden is currently seeds and bulbs. So for now, I'm just going to display it in the hallway just to show you what it looks like. But I do have plans for this to go into the greenhouse in springtime. I was delighted when I made this autumnal sign, and I had a little experiment and I used some of the printable iron-on vinyl and I ironed it onto the wood. If you want to check out that video, you know the drill by now. If you've made it this far in the video, you can head on to the playlist and check it out. And I also made this more artsy kind of sign as well for a baby shower, which by the way went down a treat. Joanne absolutely loved it, and her beautiful baby boy was born last week. There is plenty more inspiration on what you can make with your Cricut if you head on over to my channel. I hope that you got some inspiration. My best advice for newbies is make your mistake because they are your best lessons, especially when it comes to them iron-on projects. Just remember, mirror on and shiny side down. I need to stick that on a post-it to my Cricut. The things you can make are endless, and there's so many materials, markers, there's so many different things you can use. If you've got the maker, you can cut fabric on it, you can cut wood. I also have a couple of those projects over on the channel, so if you want, check out the playlist, and happy crafting, and I'll see you in the next video.